Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I also start to support this very noble idea. And I happen to have served this House when we do not have the privilege to have CDF. And Madam Speaker, I can assure this House that members were really frustrated. They were demoralized in doing their work because they had to rely on government which was not really willing to support the people at the grassroots level. We fought for the bill, and it became law, and the subsequent parliaments that followed were able to enjoy this privilege. Today, as we speak, anytime Kenyans hear that an amendment to the Constitution, they are always up in arms. But as you can feel the ground today, very little resistance is there when people hear that CDF need to be anchored in the Constitution. Why is it so, Madam Speaker? It is because Kenyans have directly enjoyed and benefited from CDF. It is the only fund that a Kenyan can access so easily because they only need to access their member of parliament who are always available for them. This fund touches the most needed people in our constituencies and the country at large. Today, as we speak, members of parliament are facing a very rough situation on the ground where Kenyans are so worried that this fund might be abolished. And if you ask them today, they are asking not whether it will be scrapped, but when are they going to be able to benefit from the monies that come to the constituencies. The country is already facing very severe times, hunger situation in the country, the drought situation, and most of our students are already sent home because they cannot afford, their parents cannot afford to pay for school fees. And therefore, it is incumbent of this House to ensure that we anchor this law so that once and for all, the decisions can be made without fear that our people can be able to enjoy this fund, whereby it is already well defined. It is touching on education and more of security. You know, the only best gift that you can give to your children is education. A very huge number of Kenyans cannot afford to educate their children. And therefore, as we speak, if you look at the lines that are coming up, the request that we have today for people who require bursary. And again, remembering although education is free in this country, the issue of feeding program has become a nightmare, whereby 4,000 shillings that is required for every term in day schools is already a disaster. Our parents cannot afford to pay. The feeding program itself is not available for our students. And therefore, it is important, Madam Speaker, to ensure that the parameters that we are putting in, we are not only discussing of this fund, but even whether we can make additional funds to support this program. The dignity of our people and the dignity of members of parliament, these two must also be protected. I remember when we could not be able to support our own people who came lining up each and every day in our houses, requiring us to support them through medical fund, which today we can be able to support them through CDF because we can afford to pay NHIF cards for them. On special needs, Madam Speaker, you look at the society and the very needy ones who can even go to tertiary education, those who can pay, for example, assisting our border riders, issuing them with licenses, whereby these licenses could not have been accessed and they were harassed each and every day. We are supporting Kenya Kwanza government, which approach is bottom up. The only fund that can be able to get to our people and help this government implement bottom up strategy is CDF. Because at the end of the day, the funds have been with the people. The funds can be able to be accessed. And at the same time, Madam Speaker, if you look at the beneficiaries of this fund, you'll be able to say that it is really touching on our people. Lastly, Madam Speaker, it is good for us to remember where we are coming from, be able to remember those people who initiated this program, the likes of Virginia Karoe. And also, we know we have a president like Mwai Kibaki, who is also supporting this program. And we are very sure that with our president, Dr. William Ruto, we will be able to support this program, and our people will benefit, and they will be able to finance their people and ensure their well-being is taken care of. I support, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Member for Laikipia East. I now call upon Member for Gilgil Town.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also rise to support the discussions that we are having on this very important legislative proposal. And I want to, first of all, congratulate Honorable Mule and Honorable Githei